Now on Nightside, we are learning more about the suspected gunman who killed 3 students at Michigan State University and the note authorities say he left behind.
The sunshine will be back for Wednesday, but don't leave the house without your winter coat. I'll let you know how cold it's going to be tomorrow morning.
Thousands of dollars raised in just 24 hours for the students and families of Logan Elementary. Who's behind it and where exactly that money will go? You're watching 4 News Now Nightside. 3 families got the call no one wants, that their kid won't be coming home. Those students were shot and killed while on campus at Michigan State University. Brian Frazier was a sophomore and president of his fraternity. Ariel Anderson and Alexandria Verner were juniors. Anderson and Frazier grew up in the same city.
And tonight, we're also learning more about the gunman and the note authorities say he left behind. ABC's Tim Pulliam reports.
Acres Dynamo.
Terrifying moments Monday night at Michigan State University as students ran for their lives or hid in their classrooms. Police in pursuit of a gunman who's opened fire in an academic building before heading to the student union.
Right when that first gunshot went off, I booked it to the far corner of the class. I was sitting right next to the door where he came in.
Guys were telling us to run out the back doors as quick as we can and run for our lives.
Police found the bodies of 2 students in Berkey Hall and another at the student union. 5 other students were critically injured. The suspect, identified by police as 43-year-old Anthony Dwayne McCrae, died from a self-inflicted gunshot.
We have absolutely no idea what the motive was at this point.
Rosman says McCrae had no connection to the school, but he did have a criminal record. Court records show McCrae pleaded guilty to a misdemeanor firearm charge in 2019. He gave up his weapon as part of the plea deal and served probation until May 2021. The focus for many is on the victims and their families.
We're devastated at the loss of life, and we want to wrap our warm arms around every family that is touched by this tragedy.
Classes are canceled until Monday as the school brings in resources to help students cope with what happened. I'm Ivan Rodriguez reporting.
Well, the community of Parkland, Florida is remembering the students and teachers shot and killed at Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School 5 years ago today. Students at one nearby elementary school formed this giant heart and the number 17, representing the 14 students and 3 staff members who were killed in that shooting. At 10:17, a moment of silence was held across all county schools, and then the schools released students early for a day of service and love. Students, staff, and volunteers were encouraged to participate in community service activities. Nicholas Cruz, the gunman responsible for the massacre, is serving a life sentence without the possibility of parole.
Today, President Biden spoke about both of these shootings, saying he supports a full investigation into last night's shooting at Michigan State and urges lawmakers on Capitol Hill to pass stricter gun control laws.
It's a family's worst nightmare. It's happening far too often in this country. Far too often. While we gather more information, there's one thing we do know to be true. We have to do something to stop gun violence ripping apart our communities.
Well, locally, some Washington lawmakers want to add a 10-day waiting period on all firearm purchases. It would also require people to complete a background check and complete certified gun safety training. Supporters say the bill would keep children safe and prevent gun violence. But critics say it isn't targeting the right people and wouldn't stop criminals. The bill is scheduled for an executive session in the Senate Law and Justice Committee on Thursday.
We are only 45 days into the new year, and there have already been 67 mass shootings across the U.S. You can see them here on this map. That's according to the Gun Violence Archive. There were a total of 647 mass shootings last year. The organization defines a mass shooting as at least 4 people shot, not including the shooter. Overall, more than 5,200 people have died in the U.S. from gun violence this year, according to the Gun Violence Archive, with more than 200 of those being victims 18 years or younger.
A 16-year-old accused of shooting and killing a 17-year-old last week in Spokane's South Perry district has now been charged with murder as an adult. According to court documents, Leland Westerlin was the person who police say shot Tyler Rowell, killing him, and also shot 2 others. He said very little in court today. His bail was set at $1 million. 3 other people are also facing charges in that shooting that started as a Snapchat deal for cannabis oil.
New on Nightside, the Senate Judiciary Committee spent 2.5 hours today in a rare unified hearing.
This cause is truly bipartisan.
All of them are bipartisan.
It's an issue that keeps parents and children up at night.
A psychologist testified the average teen spends more than 8 hours a day online. Yesterday, a CDC report declared a national youth mental health crisis, saying 42% of high school students reported experiencing persistent sadness in 2021. Researchers say social media contributes. Lawmakers are considering creating a digital regulatory commission or setting age limits for social media platforms. A record number of teens are struggling with mental health. New data from the CDC shows record levels of teens feeling persistently sad.
And that's in part because of the isolation they experienced during remote learning in the pandemic and increased bullying since they've returned to campus. 7th grader Davina Walken-Parslow at Shaw Middle School in Spokane says that she's been dealing with PTSD, anxiety, and depression. She says isolation during the COVID pandemic made it hard to get along with friends at school, to the point of having suicidal thoughts.
Right after we had to isolate, I don't know, it was just a lot of things going on, and it was just too hard to handle.
A local mental health counselor says many teens develop their identities through social settings, and the pandemic hindered the process and can be a catalyst to increased high stress levels for teenagers. The counselor says if you see sudden behavior changes in your kids, seeking help is a must. When approaching kids about mental health, parents should ask direct questions and listen to your kids without judgment or advice.
Here are 4 things to know about your weather. We have some chilly mornings ahead with partly sunny skies during the days. High temperatures in the upper 30s and lower 40s, which is just about average. There are big changes coming at the end of the 7-day forecast and beyond. Temperatures right now, we're already 22 degrees in Deer Park. It's 23 currently in Cheney and 31 in Coeur d'Alene, Hayden, 27 right now in Spirit Lake. Around the region, temperatures are in the 20s in Omak and Colville, 24 right now in Pullman. It's 35 degrees in Lewiston. On our satellite and radar, we still have a few isolated snow flurries in the central panhandle. We have had very isolated flurries for the last several hours. Your Wednesday planner, some freezing fog in the morning, a high of 39.
Thank you, Chris. Well, $28,000 and counting. That's how much was raised in just 24 hours for the students and families of Logan Elementary by Spokane Quarantine.
Well, the money will be used to buy gift cards for groceries and gas for every single family. New on Nightside, Rania Kaur spoke exclusively with the Logan Elementary School principal about the difference it'll make for the families.
There's no difference between the laughter at this playground and any other school. The difference comes at home.
We serve 277 students, and we are 87% free and reduced lunch, which qualifies us for title funding.
Students that go to Logan Elementary often don't know where their next meal will come from.
Some of the families that we serve attend or live at the Salvation Army, or they live at the Gonzaga Haven, and we have students that attend Logan from Sally's house.
Why are you doing this?
Because I was these kids that were helping, honestly, when it comes down to it. I remember just really strong memories of being really hungry, going to bed crying because my stomach hurt. Midnight.
Which is why Rick Clark, the founder and executive director of Spokane Quarantine, turned to Facebook this morning with a goal in mind.
Just one Facebook post, and then they just start sharing it.
His goal of raising $28,000 was reached by 7 p.m., 5 hours before the fundraiser goal.
It's money coming in. But I want you to know that there's people right across the street from you that are struggling, and if you don't know that, you don't know.
Principal of Logan Elementary, Jessica Vigil, is beyond excited.
Right now, gas is high, food is high, and it's just a great feeling to know our community, Spokane community, and our staff just really get behind our families here at Logan.
In Spokane, Rania Kaur, 4 News Now.
Spokane Quarantine plans to deliver gift cards for gas and groceries early next week. They're still collecting donations. If you want to know more about the fundraiser, just click on this story at KXLY.com.
Well, Gonzaga basketball has been a #1 seed in each of the last 3 NCAA tournaments, but that streak will most likely end this year. The Bulldogs are a projected 4 seed in ESPN's latest bracketology. The update has Gonzaga in the East region of the tournament, taking on Yale in the first round. The Bulldogs have 5 games left, not including the West Coast Conference tournament, so there is still time to improve that position. As of now, this is what the projected bracket looks like according to ESPN. Gonzaga would play its first round games all the way in Albany, New York. If the Bulldogs defeat Yale, they would take on the winner of UConn and Kent State for a chance to go to the Sweet 16 at Madison Square Garden in New York City. Gonzaga beat Kent State 73-66 in December in Spokane. Gonzaga will go head-to-head against Loyola Marymount this week, however. LMU beat Gonzaga at the Kennel last month. What the Bulldogs are saying about the upcoming matchup to even the score coming up in sports.
Thanks, Julian. Well, a dramatic accusation that the mother of Gabby Petito's killer may have offered him a shovel to bury her body.
And she was once in Trump's cabinet. Now she'll challenge him for the nomination. A new contender has announced her candidacy for president. That's coming up next on Nightside.
4 News Now on your time with Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
4 News Now is brought to you by Parker Subaru.
Yeah, buddy.
Own the elements. Quattro in the Audi Q5.
Let's go, buddy.
In every child, there is hope. In every child, there is joy. Joy exists to shine a light and to show every child is limitless.
I'm Mark Peterson, the Extreme Team and Horizon Credit Union, ready to take on the next task. If you know of a project that needs an Extreme Team makeover, go to KXOY.com to nominate it. 4 News Now Extreme Team brought to you by Horizon Credit Union.
Happy Valentine's Night! 52% of Americans are planning to celebrate tonight. The other 48% are men.
With Milo Ventimiglia, Charles Barkley, and Aunt Chippy's got a hot date. Jimmy Kimmel Live, new tonight on ABC and stream on Hulu.
Wow, you guys really are taking the Zags win, you win promotion seriously.
Oh, yes, ma'am. If the Gonzaga Bulldogs win the 2023 National Championship, Bill's Heating's going to be refunding up to $6,000 of people's eligible equipment purchases, including yours.
Well, I hope you win.
Yeah, we got this.
Fire threatens everything in its path. When it threatens our communities, we respond and we bring the fight to the front line. Find out more about serving your community part-time by visiting NationalGuard.com.
Charged with style. The fully electric Audi Q4 e-tron.
4 News Now is brought to you by Washington Trust Bank.
Cold tonight, 22 for an overnight low with patchy freezing fog. So a chilly start to the day, partly sunny skies, especially as we get into mid-morning. May have to clear the fog out in spots. A high temperature of 39, which is exactly average. Here's a look at our forecast for fog as we get into tomorrow morning. It is not especially widespread, but there are some spots, especially as we head south of the Spokane and Coeur d'Alene area, up around Sandpoint, and with temperatures below freezing. Freezing fog will be a concern. That will clear up very quickly, however, certainly by mid-morning. Our forecast, we're in a northerly flow right now, and that is what's kept our temperatures cool today. We'll be cool again tomorrow, seasonably cool, I should say. It seems like with all the sunshine we're seeing, our temperatures should be in the 40s. We'll be back there soon. Tomorrow evening, we are clear across the region. A system will begin approaching Thursday and into Friday. Wednesday. Thursday night, we'll see an increase in clouds. Friday, that system will move through, bringing a chance of some mountain showers, but really should only see an increase in clouds around Spokane and Coeur d'Alene. But there are bigger systems on the way for the second half of the weekend. But first, we have a cold night ahead. Teens in some of the outlying areas will be in the 20s in Spokane and Coeur d'Alene, but just barely. High temperatures tomorrow, just about average, upper 30s and 40s around the region. Here's a look at your planning forecast. Warmer on Thursday with partly sunny skies. Then those clouds increase for mostly cloudy conditions on Friday and mountain snow showers. Saturday and Sunday, temperatures in the 40s. We start to see a system moving in Sunday night, and that is going to bring a mix of rain and snow on Monday. And it looks like maybe just snow on Tuesday, with long-range forecast showing below average temperatures and above average precipitation for next week, with highs possibly in the 20s. We will keep you updated on that. In the meantime, beautiful shot from this evening from Marilyn Heckendorn of a gorgeous snow-covered mountain, but some sunshine on that as well. She says she's on her way to the grocery store and spotted this view. Kirsten?
And that's why we love to live here. Thanks, Chris. New on Nightside. She was once in Trump's cabinet. Now she'll challenge him for the nomination. Tonight, former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley announced her campaign for the White House, introducing herself as the proud daughter of Indian immigrants, a first-generation American.
Republicans have lost the popular vote in 7 out of the last 8 presidential elections. That has to change. It's time for a new generation of leadership.
Haley was the first woman and first person of color elected governor of South Carolina, and later Donald Trump's ambassador to the UN. Shortly after the January 6th attack on the Capitol, Haley said Trump had, quote, lost any sort of political viability.
I don't put up with bullies. And when you kick back, it hurts them more if you're wearing heels.
New on Nightside. A dramatic accusation is being made that Brian Laundrie's mother may have offered him a shovel to bury Gabby Petito's body. In a hearing today, an attorney for Gabby Petito's parents said during a different remote hearing in Florida, he saw the letter from Brian's mother at an FBI regional office. He claimed the envelope said burn after reading. A defense attorney for Laundrie's parents said the letter is irrelevant to the lawsuit and they shouldn't have to produce it. The case is set for trial in August. This is Fatima Al-Ghazwi. She was a mother who police say was killed by her ex-boyfriend in Spokane last week. Al-Ghazwi's daycare called police when she didn't pick up her children.
Spokane police say they went to her apartment and no one answered the door. When they got in, they found her dead on the floor. Lawmakers and advocates say the state is not doing enough when it comes to protecting domestic violence victims. A bill introduced by lawmaker Lauren Davis aims to hold people who cause harm responsible instead of putting the burden on women to go to shelters to get away from their abusers.
In healthcare settings, the term never event is used to describe situations that are so preventable they should never occur. Domestic violence homicide should be a never event. Research indicates that these murders follow consistent patterns and are highly predictable. And yet, dozens of women are killed in this state every year by men they once loved. This is unacceptable.
A portion of the bill includes electronic monitoring where the victim would be notified of the accused abuser's location. Coming up on Nightside, an unconventional love story between two lovebirds.
Sign up for breaking news alerts with the 4 News Now app.
I'm Chad Young from the Easy Home Buyer, and I pay cash for houses. If you own a house and want to sell it fast for cash, call us today for your no-obligation as-is cash offer. We buy houses in any condition, and there are no fees, no commissions, and no repairs. We buy houses with tenants, fixer-uppers, bare land, even haunted houses. Woo! Call us today or visit us online at theeasyhomebuyer.com.
Pick up the phone to inquire. Call the Easy Home Buyer.
At Washington Trust Bank, can't is a 4-letter word.
I think we should hire more people.
Doc, I'm late for a meeting. I'm thinking of starting my own practice.
Do it. Too much capital.
We need a warehouse.
I can't imagine how we do that.
We should knock that wall down and expand.
Do it. There's always another wall beyond the wall.
We believe you can do whatever you set your mind to, and we'll help you get there. Washington Trust Bank, privately owned, locally invested.
Hey, have you seen this TikTok family pairing thing?
Yeah, it's a bunch of settings we can customize.
So
Shauna's parents will be like, okay, so I'm thinking 40 minutes of screen time a day. And Shauna's all like, what? I think 60 is fair. Or you know how Ricky posts those 6 solos? Well, his dad's like, these are sick, but they're only sick for you and your friends. Or you could be like, I'm extending your screen time, son, and your curfew.
I don't sound like that. Do I sound like that?
STA is a great place to work for a few different reasons. There are definitely a lot of opportunities here at STA, no matter where you start at. There's always opportunities for advancement, things to help you move from one position to the next.
All the departments here, paratransit, fixed route, we all work together to help the community, and that's why I like to work here.
Four News Now is brought to you by Post Falls Volkswagen.
Thanks for staying up with Nightside. A lawsuit against a luxury hair care brand. 30 people are suing Olaplex, alleging the product severely damaged their hair, leaving some of them with blisters and bald spots. The Olaplex brand, widely available in popular beauty stores and online, is marketed to restore damaged hair and protect against breakage. But the lawsuit alleges the products did quite the opposite, causing allergic reactions, leaving some plaintiffs' hair dry, brittle, frizzy, and dull. One saying the treatments made her hair look like it had been cut with a weed whacker.
They've purchased a product that's been marketed as something that repairs and restores hair, but has actually badly damaged their hair.
I have never in my life experienced anything like this, and it's devastating.
Well, one of the plaintiffs who you just heard from says she used Olaplex for 2 months and lost 20% of her hair. Olaplex denies the allegations, defending the safety and efficacy of their products, saying in part, quote, Olaplex products do not cause hair loss or hair breakage. Olaplex products are safe and effective, as millions of our customers can happily attest.
New on Nightside. On Valentine's Day, we often think about giving love to others, but think about saving some of that affection for yourself.
On Valentine's Day, we often think about giving love to others, but think about saving some of that affection for yourself.
There's nothing selfish about it. It's actually really essential for our own well-being and our own happiness.
Licensed therapist Jody Baumstein says self-love means listening to yourself. Maybe you need exercise or perhaps a little rest, but tuning in to what you need and letting yourself have it. She says to also give yourself some grace.
You might think, oh, well, if I don't do that, I'm a bad mom or I'm a bad friend. But we can be in relationships with people and still meet our own needs.
Baumstein says to recognize what gets in the way of self-love, what in your life leaves you depleted, discouraged, disconnected, or overwhelmed, and have healthy boundaries. It's okay to say no.
Over time, we might be conditioned to believe that we're not enough, and that the only way to be enough is to do more. And sometimes that narrative is really harmful.
The practice of self-love isn't only good for us, but Baumstein says it also teaches children that it's okay to love themselves too. She says to embrace life's messiness.
It's normal and human to experience ups and downs. There's nothing deeply flawed or broken in you. You're just like everyone else.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Hyundai and Kia say they have to fix a problem that made their cars easy to steal. It was so easy that some insurance companies refused to write new policies for close to 8 million vehicles. The affected vehicles are Hyundais and Kias made between 2015 and 19 that have turnkey ignitions, not the push-button starts. The reason why they were stolen so often was because many lack some of the basic auto theft prevention technology included in most other vehicles. They say a free software patch should fix the issue. Inflation is still hot, surging 0.5% in January, according to the latest Consumer Price Index. The Bureau of Labor Statistics says annual inflation is down from December, but it's still higher than economists' expectations. The cost of housing, food, gas, natural gas contributed to the rise. But despite the increase, inflation appears to be slowing on year-over-year basis. The Federal Reserve says the process to bring down inflation would take some time. That could mean more rate increases in the future. Coming up in sports, we had a number of high school basketball teams looking to advance in the playoffs. Which schools made it to the championship weekend? Next on Nightside.
Download the 4 News Now app today.
4 News Now is brought to you by Kerner Furniture.
Movies have always made the impossible seem possible.
We're gonna do something different.
On March 12th, let's salute the amazing people who bring magic to life.
Enjoy the moment.
The Oscars, live Sunday, March 12th on ABC.
What you see is important. That makes quality eye care important too. Get personalized care from experienced optometrists at Shopko Optical. Better eye care. You'll see. Don't need glasses. See us for your contacts and save on your annual supply.
Home is where you hang your hat, snuggle up, hide out. Home is when you're with the ones you love. It isn't just a place, it's a state of mind. At Idaho Central Credit Union, our home is Idaho. We grew up here, and we're proud to help more Idahoans with their home loan than any other financial institution. Idaho Central Credit Union. We believe home is where you make it.
I've been in the sporting goods business all my life, and what my customers tell me is they want American. They want made in the USA. They want boats powered by Mercury outboards. They want rough, tough, and durable. They want freedom. Freedom to go where they want and to come home safe. Come meet the crew at Elephant Boys. Powered by Mercury outboards, we have what you want.
What you see is important. That makes quality eye care important too. Get personalized care from experienced optometrists at Shopko Optical. Better eye care. You'll see. Shopko Optical welcomes more insurance plans than ever. Call to book an exam and verify coverage.
Welcome back. Thanks for tuning into sports. I'm Julian Minnesota. When Loyola Marymount beat Gonzaga last month, you could hear a pin drop in the kennel. It was that quiet. The loss ended the Bulldogs' 75-game home win streak. Gonzaga will look for payback when it takes on LMU on Thursday. The Bulldogs aren't the only ones LMU has upset this season. The Lions also beat St. Mary's last week. LMU now has wins over the 2 top teams in the West Coast Conference, so Gonzaga is preparing for another tough game this time around.
They're a great team. They've shown that, I think, this whole season, just with who they've been able to beat and everything. But we're looking forward to it, man. We felt like that game was in our hands, and we kind of gave it away. And, you know, we're going to give it our all, and they're going to give it their all. So it's going to be a battle, but it's going to be a fun one for sure.
Tip-off is at 8 o'clock on Thursday night from Los Angeles. Gonzaga, as we mentioned earlier in the show, is a projected 4 seed in the NCAA tournament according to ESPN's bracketology, so they'll look to better their case there. Washington State men's basketball will hold its final homestand of the season this week. The Cougars will take on Oregon State on Thursday. The Beavers have 4 wins and 11 losses in conference play, but Washington State head coach Kyle Smith says Oregon State is a lot better than their record indicates.
They've made a dramatic turn from where they were last year, and kudos to them. But so that you're going to have a little, you know, they're going through it the first time. Plus, you got Glenn Taylor, who's a really good sophomore that has a little experience. So they're pretty young, but they're very physical. They have they'll play 5 front court guys, so expect them to use all those bodies and just do everything they can to try to be physical with us.
Tip-off between the Cougs and Beavers is set for 8 o'clock Thursday night from Beasley Coliseum in Pullman. This is the first and only regular season meeting between these teams this season. Gonzaga baseball is set to open the season this week. The Bulldogs are projected to win the West Coast Conference Championship once again. Now, the Bulldogs picked up 6 of 10 first-place votes in the preseason WCC coaches poll. San Diego State came in second. Gonzaga also had 4 players earn preseason all-conference honors. Starting pitcher Owen Wild, third baseman Cade McGee, second baseman Xavier Pinales, and outfielder Grayson Sterling were the 4. Now, the Bulldogs open the season on Friday at Texas Tech. High school basketball playoffs, 4A boys district semifinal. Gonzaga Prep hosting Kamayakin, and Jamil Miller took over in the first half for the Bullpups. Miller spots up for the 3 right there. G Prep with it again, pushing the ball up the floor this time. Miller will drive and make it look too easy in the paint. Miller led all scorers with 26 points. Then his teammate Jay Swanson says, "Hey man, spread the wealth, why don't you?" Swanson steps back, pulls up, and yeah, that's good right there. Gonzaga Prep wins 69-56. The Bullpups will take on Chiawana for the district title on Saturday. 4A girls district semifinal between the top seed Central Valley and Richland. Richland getting things going on offense early on here. The give and the go. Richland is well in control, leading by double digits after the lay-in. Central Valley needs to get points in a hurry, and this will do it right here. Eden Sander goes to Skylar Newman for the 3. That'll get it done, but the Bears had trouble stopping Richland's Kylie Fox. Fox is the reigning back-to-back Mid-Columbia Conference Player of the Year in the Tri-Cities. Fox had 22 points. Richland runs away with this one 80-52. So Richland will take on Kamayakin for the district title on Saturday. And sticking with Central Valley, you might remember previous 4 News Now stories on Central Valley football player Brandon Thomas. Thomas had his leg amputated 3 years ago due to cancer, but with hard work and dedication, Thomas finished his high school career, and today Thomas announced his commitment to play football at Eastern Washington next season. So congrats, Brandon. Also, we will have high school playoff coverage throughout the week right here on 4 News Now. That'll wrap us up for sports.
Stream 4 News Now on your TV for free with the KXLY Plus app. At 4 News Now, we believe you should expect more from local news. Our team is committed to a community conversation and bringing you information you need when and where you need it. Numerica believes in and supports that mission.
If your checking account isn't earning you money, it's time to switch to bonus checking from Numerica. The account that earns an incredible 2% annual percentage yield. That could earn you up to $500 every year or more.
Spokane and North Idaho's country leader.
It goes like one margarita.
Bluebird in my heart.
Baby, you're playing hard to forget. The big 99.9 Coyote Country.
Horrific crimes like the murders in Moscow stay with us and can change how we act, how we parent, and how we live day to day. What can you do when those underlying fears become overwhelming? 4 News Now is getting answers Thursday at 6.
At Eastern Washington University, data analysts and sociologists turn analytics into action. Geologists and political scientists explore innovative solutions for climate change. And our award-winning Center for Entrepreneurship empowers future business leaders to create the economy for now and decades from now. An interdisciplinary education that gets real about the real world, that's the new thing. It is Eastern Washington and you. Discover Eastern at ewu.edu/newthink.
Hi, I'm Chris with Clark's Tire and Automotive. Right now is the best time to get your vehicle in to get it checked over. Come on in for a free winter inspection. We're going to check your brakes, shocks, struts, tires, air filter, wiper blades, and your heating and cooling system to make sure you're winter ready. If you can't make it into one of our shops, give us a call. We now have a mobile service. We offer a 2-year, 24,000-mile parts and labor warranty. We support our local law enforcement, our schools, our nurses and doctors, and we're here to support you. Come and try us out. We are a friendly neighborhood service repair center.
See breaking news in your area or have a story idea? Contact 4 News Now.
Here's something new on Nightside. Geese flock to Riverside Cemetery in Iowa all the time.
Geese flock. I see what you did there.
You're welcome. One female named Blossom was lonely and longing for love. Her mate, Bud, had passed away last year. Sad. and the workers at the cemetery decided to do something, so they played matchmaker and they posted an ad on Facebook. Blossom, single and ready to mingle. Within days, they got a call from a couple that was moving out of state and couldn't take their male goose Frankie, a bachelor himself, with them. So now Blossom and Frankie are real lovebirds. And I guess geese mate for life, so they'll probably hang out for a while.
Wait, which one's Frankie?
I was reading the words. I didn't look down at the screen. That's what I do. I read the words. They were cute, though.
I was trying to find out. Did you see Frankie?
I could not quite follow, no.